That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Interceptor, the directorial debut of Matthew Reilly, which Netflix is releasing June 3rd, 2022.
The director?
Matthew Reilly.
What have they done?
As I said, their debut.
Oh, wow.
It was co-written by Stuart Beattie, who is a little bit more notable. Beattie's directed 2 films on his own, including I, Frankenstein, but has lots of story credits on Pirates of the Caribbean films and wrote Collateral, starring Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
So notably, this film is produced by Chris Hemsworth?
Executive produced by Chris Hemsworth.
And it stars his wife.
Elsa Pataky.
Okay. I will say this movie was so bad that it was fun. It did become a little tedious because it's just like, I mean, I think because they're taking themselves a little seriously.
A little.
And I wish they would have leaned into how ridiculous it is.
Yes.
I will say, even though I didn't think the lead had, I mean, I'm not going to say her acting was bad. I mean, the dialogue's bad. The story's ridiculous. I don't think that was the right role for her, but I do think she was very engaging to watch.
Well, she's in the Fast and Furious, several of the Fast and Furious films. Yeah, playing a character named Elsa.
She is compelling on screen because she's like a badass, so that's fun. But the basic story is, we're told, I don't know if this is true, but apparently the film opens with
statistics.
Facts. So it says that Russia can launch a nuclear missile to a target in the U.S. that can hit in 24 minutes. And that the United States military has 2 bases where there are like missiles that can intercept those other missiles. Mm-hmm. So the opening of the film is, one of those 2 bases is taken down by terrorists.
Fort Greely in Alaska.
So now there's only 1 base left, and it's like some base that's like in the middle of the ocean.
It's on a seaborne platform called SBX-1.
Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. So very quickly we realized that that base is also being taken over. And the bad guy is this guy named Alexander Kessel. Mm-hmm. And he is the son of like a billionaire who happens to also be his dad is also like an ambassador to the UN.
Played by Luke Bracey.
That's Alexander's character. Yeah. He is doing this. He is getting paid to orchestrate this thing where he somehow stole 16 nuclear missiles from Russia, and he's going to launch them to like major cities in the US. So he's taking down the interceptor bases so that he wants to destroy the United States. We can get into that because I think his motivation's weird.
For buco bucks.
But he makes it seem like he already has a lot of money. So how much money could he have? Whatever. But okay, so the lady, what's her name?
J.J. Collins, Captain J.J. Collins.
Captain Collins. She is new to this base. She has a history, which we can get into in a minute.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
she gets assigned to this base, and day 1, shit goes down. Because the terrorists, the bad guy...
She doesn't even get to unpack.
She doesn't even get to have a bite to eat.
Nope.
When her boss tells her, bitch, grab your gun, there's an issue.
Get to the command room.
Everything. So the pacing is very fast.
But not. Also.
She single-handedly has to...
Literally single-handedly.
We'll get into that. Literally single-handedly has to take down the bad guys. She's successful and then launches all the missiles to intercept the nuclear missiles. And then the president of the United States, which happens to be a woman, appoints her to like her national security staff.
And she's in the hospital. She says, you need to report to the White House next week.
She doesn't get a break.
I want a year
She doesn't get physical therapy. She's like, bitch, bring your ass to the White House next week.
Get me out of this room full of flowers. And
there were many moments where I laughed, rolled my eyes. So in that regard, I think as a Netflix film that you could stream in the comfort of your own home, it could be fun.
It's a lot more fun than Chris Hemsworth Extraction, which has, I guess, several sequels.
Well, because that's taking itself very seriously.
And is very dull.
And very, dry. But this one, I mean, it's
cheesy.
It's very cheesy. Okay. I knew we were in trouble when, as soon as Captain Collins gets to this, like, base out in the ocean... There's like an officer who greets her, this black woman.
Belinda Jombwe was her name.
Child, her acting was like, what? So that's how I knew this was like
And
gonna
it's
be a
just
real
like
movie.
fluff dialogue.
Oh my god.
And, but she's the one that has to say things like, "I heard you grew up in Spain," to explain her accent.
The dialogue is just so crunchy, and the acting from many of these characters. But again, I don't know if that was just like they were going for that.
I don't think so. It immediately reminded me of this terrible. I don't even know why we watched this movie, but
Yes.
this Mario Lopez film called The Journey: Absolution from like 1997.
If you want to see a lot of attractive young men in their tidy whities, I would recommend that. We watched in Riff Tracks.
Yes.
So I would recommend the Riff Tracks version of that
But
film.
right away, it reminded me that also of kind of it, but it has none of this anxiety of like that Joseph Gordon-Levitt film 7500, where the terrorists are trying to get in the cockpit.
Well, that's a good movie.
But that's really the mechanism behind this plot is they need to get into this command center.
The lady playing Captain Collins, I thought she looked like June Diane Raphael.
She does a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. She's striking to look at. She's a very strong-looking lady. Like, she's in great shape. And so, I mean, she definitely fit the role of, like, a kick-ass captain who's going to take down all these people.
She's definitely the best part, but is consistently hobbled and undermined by the terrible script.
There were several moments that are very violent. The first moment is she's fighting one of the bad guys who's trying to get into the command center so they can destroy the whatever.
console.
Yes. And she stabs this man, like, it's in the trailer, like, stabs him in the eye with her gun. Like, literally, like, fills his socket with her gun. That was pretty shocking. Okay. The command center, the employees working there, specifically one,
Rahul.
the Hindi man?
Rahul.
Hindu? Rahul? Doesn't he say he's Hindu or Hindi?
That sounds right, but
Rahul is the character's name. But his nationality is important because they antagonize him about it. I don't understand how a base like this, which is supposed to intercept nuclear missiles, so like ultra like emergent situations, the staff working there seem like so incompetent. Like if you went into the DMV asking to get your tooth pulled and they're just like, what? That's how he was acting. He even says, you can't count on me for shit, girl. That was so ridiculous.
and the other guy is part of the.
His colleague is like one of the bad guys.
Is a plant, yeah.
Sure, but it just seemed like wouldn't a facility like that's like the last line of defense against like
There would be
national destruction, like an extinction level event. Wouldn't there be like layer upon layer upon layer of security?
You would think.
And everything about that command center was like, oh, you just push a button and it's good to go.
Yeah, basically.
Even the ending, which we can elaborate on, all she does is take a laptop and plug it into the building and she's able to launch 16 or 15 missiles. Like, come on.
But then has to go have a fight scene where the laptop doesn't fall asleep or anything, and there's like 1 second left where she has to launch the intercept. But
So I did enjoy the bad guy.
Luke Bracey, he's in the Point Break remake.
He's also in like a movie on Netflix that's like #1 right now. Something about like attitude or hatitude or holitude, holidaytude. I don't know. But I thought he was like okay to look at, and I think he's playing like a villain in a very cheesy way. And there's a point where he kills someone to try to convince Captain Collins to do what he wants, and she doesn't listen. And so there's blood all over this like window pane that they're communicating through, and he draws a sad face on the like. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yes, it's dumb.
It's ridiculous. Okay, the backstory on Captain Collins. So she was like she's a great soldier, worked her way up, and then she ended up becoming like
A 3-star general?
a 3-star general or working for.
Is offered that.
She's like been given a big promotion, but the general she's working under is sexually harassing her. So she files a complaint, and then she like wiretaps him, which ultimately gets him dismissed. And the military, like all these soldiers, turn their back on her. And they start harassing her in a way that's so ridiculous, it's almost inappropriate. Like
It is inappropriate.
I feel like the filmmaker is almost mocking it because it's so ridiculous.
They trash her room on
And they write all these terrible things.
They wrote, "We came on your pillow and we're coming for you."
And then it's like, bitch, slut, whore.
Captain Slut.
Captain Slut, whore bag. Like, oh my God. It's just too much. She's receiving hate mail, and we see the email threads, and they're all titled like die, bitch, bitch, die, bitch, die, bitch, die, like
lying bitch. Oh my God.
Whatever PA was responsible for typing these up used no creativity.
No. Ari.
Then it's just one of those storylines where like everything falls in line with no background. Like the bad guy Alexander knows all about Captain Collins and is immediately able to use it against her.
Well, and he's feeding us the exposition, but saying it out loud to her, but in a way that you wouldn't say it to her.
Yeah, he's explaining every little thing. Then there's a character named Beaver who's like racist and misogynist, and he is in cahoots with Alexander. There's a point where he gets the upper hand on Captain Collins, and he shoots her right in her bulletproof vest. And then they just zip tie her, which of course she gets out of and then saves the day. But that was like, I hate plot points like that where it's like, you should have killed her ass. And then he even says later, we should have killed her. Yeah, you should have.
The score is doing overtime too by Michael Lira.
Yes.
It's doing a lot.
Chris Hemsworth does make an appearance. He plays a character who lives in Los Angeles, and he works in like a Best Buy type store selling televisions. And they give him like long brunette hair. And his character is like the comedic relief, I guess.
If you'd call it comedy.
Yeah,
He's because the terrorists are also projecting what's happening to
all televisions in all of the country.
So Chris Hemsworth is alone in the store, like watching
it, talking back to the screen, and then they're being televised using like, let's call it a GoPro. I mean, it's bigger than that, but they just have it set like there's a lot of effort placed on like showing the audience like that they're putting this camera places. Like y'all are more worried about this damn GoPro than like telling a good story. But anyway.
Oh God! And every time they switch to the Situation Room with the president and
oh my God,
general,
oh my God,
like by Marcus Johnson, he's pretty bad too.
Marcus Johnson, that general seemed like
Dyson.
You know who he seemed like to me? Remember in House of Cards how what was Kevin Spacey's character's name?
Frank Underwood.
When Francis Underwood would go to the barbecue shop, like the rib shack, and that black man who
yeah, he's dead now.
He is, and I did like that character, but I feel like the general in the Situation Room was acting like the rib shack man.
The rib shack man's much better. I'm forgetting he's a very notable character actor.
But that Situation Room was a joke, and then they have a statistician there who's like.
Oh God!
And it's like this very gay man who's being like, I have a 14% chance of blah blah. Like what?
Because she has the platform is going to sink it into the ocean, which is another way for them to get what they want. So she is saying, Collins is saying, I have to let them take control of the situation of the command center, and then I'll take control
of the upper hand
within 12 minutes, and that is what had a 14% chance of success.
That scene was funny. Okay, what did the bad guys think they were going to do if their mission was successful? Like, where were they going to go? You blew up the entire United States of America. You've been on TV, like you've broadcast your face all over all of the country. Where are they going? Their plan is they have paid off a Russian like submarine captain to take them, because like you mentioned, the little base is out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it has a button, literally a button that says like self-destruct, and then the entire platform sinks into the water in like 14 minutes. So this Russian submarine is supposed to pick them up and then take them where, I don't know. I just thought like this is such a stupid plan. When the bad guy just wants money, but you're already the son of a billionaire, and there's no point made to explain to the audience that you don't already have a bunch of money. So why are you doing this?
It's like Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Oh my God. The poor man playing Captain Collins' dad.
Oh yeah.
Those poor scenes. And because he gets roughed up, like to try to like persuade her, he looks like hell. He looks like hell before he gets beat up. And then when we see him after he's been beat up, it's like, Jesus Christ. But he tells the daughter, like, never stop fighting. And that's after she's been shot in the arm. And she has 5 minutes to launch the Interceptor missiles, and this lady falls out of the base. So she's in the ocean.
Beaver is decapitated. She falls in the ocean.
And with one arm, climbs up the platform.
Out of the ocean.
And then what do you call the monkey bars on the jungle gym? Like how you swing with both arms? She only has one arm. That scene is wild as hell.
Yes.
Like... But it was entertaining, I guess. You already alluded to the decapitation. She does that by putting barbed wire around Beaver's neck. I mean, that's very violent.
Yes, and that's an effective scene. I thought a few times that Steven Soderbergh film Haywire, that was a project that was meant to highlight the skills of is it Gina Carano, who's not a good actress. So I will say Elsa Pataky, I think, is a better screen presence than Carano, but... I think I want to say she's deserving of a much better script than this.
Yeah. I think the movie is shot nicely. Like, it looks good.
Well, the special effects.
But those missiles look fake as hell.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that movie Firebird that we watched with those jets. Like, it's...
At least the command center in this looked better.
Yeah. I thought the film looked great except for the missiles. And we do get a lot of the missiles.
We do get a lot of them.
Okay. You know, I hate movies like this where everything is down to the wire. I hate that. Like, literally down to the second. It's just so, like, predictable. We know she's going to be successful.
That's what makes Galaxy Quest such a, beautiful movie.
My final note is, so... Captain Collins is successful in launching the Interceptor missiles. All 16 nuclear missiles never touch U.S. soil.
Although,
so she saves the nation.
Although I want to hear, they're getting hit in midair, and is there no nuclear fallout from that?
If there are any physicists, like nuclear physicists who watch our videos, could you comment below? Like, if you blew up a nuclear missile in the sky, wouldn't it create a far bigger
I didn't bother to look at that at all, but that was with the thought going through my head. Like,
they make it just look like a regular explosion.
Like we're all done. Nothing.
But whatever. But what I was gonna say is, so Captain Collins has saved the United States. Like, she saved everyone. So she's a big deal. And when we go to her hospital room, she has all these greeting cards and flowers. From children.
Thanks for saving my city.
That clearly some PA had to write, the backwards letters, like a 5-year-old.
But when the president just pops in, I heard you're awake.
And then, and Madam President just walks in, you're going to be part of my staff.
She's like, you'll report next week. No, I will not next week.
I need a break. Although her hair was, she had, a nice little blowout in the hospital bed.
Yeah, with a Band-Aid on her head.
I don't have anything else. What would you give this movie?
1.
I would give it 2 because because it's entertaining. It's not a good movie, but I think it's, if you know it's some bullshit, but I think it could be a fun watch.
Sure. Sure.
Well, I'm not giving it 1 because I feel like whoever made it, they knew what they were doing.
No, I don't think that they did. That's the problem.
I don't think they're taking themselves that seriously.
Again, it's a lot more fun than Extraction. I will give it that.
Anything else?
No.
Don't forget the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.